Okay, so I had a really intense dream. This wasn't recent, this was a couple of months ago. And as soon as I woke up, I started writing down notes. And this dream was so real. Absolutely. So I'm going to share the notes and then I'm going to go in more in depth to what I remember today. But it was an absolute beautiful world, or a beautiful realm, or a beautiful part of heaven. And I could probably use better terminology, but I know I'm going to be saying realm, but really see this more as a part of heaven. Like there's the waters of life, which I believe when you dive into the waters of life, you are cleansed from sin. But I was in a water of limitless gnosis, a limitless good gnosis. There was no evil and no evil was permitted. No sin was allowed, but I was sort of in a way invited as a guest to experience this limitlessness. In a way, it was God telling me that even though in this world, in the flesh, I do seek knowledge, he was telling me that there's greater knowledge in the next life, and I will have it abundantly. The knowledge you shall receive in the next life is limitlessness. It's not being all-knowing, because you could always still have questions, but you will always get the answers, and this data is going to process like nothing you've ever experienced before. People may think to themselves, well, when we're in heaven, are we going to know everything, and heaven's going to get boring? Oh no, you will never know everything, because you'll be learning forever. You'll be gaining good knowledge forever. And you could keep gaining and gaining until it satisfies you. And then you could stop there if you wish, or go back in any time you want. But I'm telling you, the waters of knowledge, being in that one mind where everyone is connected, absolutely beautiful. So here's what I wrote, and it may not all make sense because I wrote it as soon as I woke up, but I had to write it. So here it is. From that world I visited. Knowledge connects like raindrops and is a living thing. Everyone in the pool of knowledge is connected, and when one being shares an idea/information to other minds, it flows in as everyone builds up from each other, growing more and more rapidly, just like a small drop of water grows larger as new ones join. This connection flows gracefully and wants good thoughts, for bad ones get rejected and harmony must always stay intact. Answers to questions are found within and revealed through other minds as the knowledge flows/transfers from one mind to the next so quick. As soon as a thought/question is projected, other answers and ideas latch on, just like a water drop that is flowing down a window. It gets larger as it connects with more water drops. Knowledge just keeps expanding, and we are like water creatures flowing so gracefully through the waters of life. I don't know what I saw to be exact, but we were one, and everything was happening so fast, but we kept improving ourselves on a rapid level as we all transferred our thoughts, questions, perceptions, and answers. If one person didn't know something, someone else did, and it just kept connecting, kept building. Everyone was their own individual selves, but at the same time connected so well that we felt as one mind. We just kept growing together in peace, but anyone who broke the harmony felt disharmony and chaos as backlash in an equal amount of their negative thought, but this rarely happened. We were in liquid knowledge, and energy was all around us, glowing and moving. I remember a being stopped swimming/moving and looking at me, and they helped me with something. We all felt everything all at once, everything that existed, including our connected selves. I was with many good humanoid beings. So pretty much I was in a water world where we were liquid beings, not of the flesh, but of the spirit. And even though raindrops merged together to become one drop, even though we were one drop, we were still our individual selves. We could clearly and distinctly see our own individual selves, our own humanoid figures, but we were as water, and we were connected to the great water. And the great water was infinite. It was limitless. And every one of our thoughts was connected, all our knowledge, our perceptions, everything was connected. We were all connected to limitlessness. But at the same time, we all as individual beings weren't all knowing. We still had questions, and we were still able to make ideas and perceive things in different ways. But because we were in liquid knowledge, we were all able to share and sort of knit together our own thoughts and ideas as we were one. So any questions that anyone had, they would get answered in the blink of an eye. So rapid were these thoughts and these ideas, this knowledge was being exchanged. It was on an unbelievable level. And in this liquid world, this world of liquid knowledge, nobody was able to think about something bad. Because as soon as something bad, as soon as something that was of sin was projected out into the great water, since we are all one, there was disharmony. And I remember it seems as though everyone around me wasn't a sinner. They were cleansed already from sin if they were original sinners. And it seems as though I was invited in as a sinner. So I get invited to this world, and for the most part, I'm able to think positively and think only that which is good. But there were times where, and this probably only happened maybe 2 or 3 times, where something bad would pop up in my mind, something sinful, and I would feel the energy around me go from blue to red, but it was like an orangey red, almost as if I was on liquid fire. And as soon as sin, which came from me, entered into the world of liquid knowledge, then all the other beings around me started going towards me to correct it. It was as if I was dying. It was as if sin in that world of liquid knowledge was so severe, being connected as one mind, that the whole body had to go and assist that sin and correct it, almost as if like it's a repenting act. It's like I could throw something out there in the great mind, the great liquid mind, that is bad, and then the only way to make the sort of like that liquid fire around me go out is to repent. So I had to repent for that, and then sometimes these beings would touch me on my shoulder, and then that would also heal me as well. But yeah, it was just really cool. It was sort of like, in a way, I could picture it like a world where, sort of like a world in heaven where you could drink out of the waters of knowledge, but to drink out of it isn't to sort of take it in the palm of your hand or in a cup and drink it, but you literally go into it. You drink it with your whole being. So you sort of dive right in, and you become one with all that are in that liquid knowledge. And this liquid knowledge is limitless, but it's limitless only in good. There is no dual gnosis in this liquid knowledge. When you dive into the liquid knowledge to learn whatever you want to learn, whatever is bad gets destroyed. It's almost as if you go from a body of living water swimming in this liquid knowledge to a body of liquid fire, like lava. But it was just a bit different, and I feel as though this place could very well be a real place, and I was a sinner who was invited to experience this. So they probably knew what was going to happen, because the knowledge of good and evil was not allowed. And you see, like, for God, he has full limitlessness, knowing both good and evil, but he only does good. And in this pool, being cleansed of sin, being cleansed of the dual gnosis, we only know good knowledge. And this good knowledge is limitless in its potential. There's no being all-knowing in this liquid knowledge. Knowledge just kept expanding and expanding, and we just kept building ourselves up in character more and more, and it was going so fast. It was sort of like how how a computer processes data. Like, that data was just shooting into our being so quick, and it was like reading 1,000 books in a second, and it was just insane. If there was one bad book in that 1,000, it would get burnt up. It was just intense. I mean, I felt true limitlessness, not knowing everything, not being all-knowing, because only God is all-knowing, but I felt limitlessness. I was able to learn and learn and learn forever, There was no end. The light just kept shining. It just kept going. Except for it wasn't light. Um, it was liquid. But yeah, it was just crazy, and it felt so real. Absolutely, I believe a place like that can exist in the spiritual realm, and it is controlled under God's authority.